Hello everyone, it's Diego Doom here, and I'm bringing you another review. Today I'll be reviewing Act Ultraman Gaia. Act Ultraman Gaia is another great entry into the Ultra Act series. Gaia comes with quite a few accessories, and also this figure has a couple of new innovations that are found often in the newer figures in the Ultra Act line. So first, let's check out Ultraman Gaia's accessories. Okay, now let's take a look at Ultraman Gaia's accessories. So Gaia comes with quite a few accessories here. He has two pairs of hands, one individual hand, his Ultra Beam effect, two additional heads, one low energy crystal, a innovation for the Tamashii Nation stand plugin, and then ground effect parts. So it's pretty neat and very cool. So first let's look at Gaia's hands. So for the first pair of hands Gaia comes with, he has his open hands here. And these hands are very cool, and I think they do a very nice job as far as going with the glove-like appearance that a lot of the Ultramen have here. So as you can see, very nicely detailed and very nicely sculpted here. Very accurate. And the way it's painted, these are silver, but I wouldn't say it's necessarily a metallic silver, but the silver is enough that it pops, so it's not just like a dull silver hand. So that's very cool and very, very neat. The next pair of hands that Gaia has, he has his standard chopping hands. And these chopping hands, pretty cool. Very neat right here. Just your standard chopping, nicely detailed. Nice grooves for the fingers and the hands. Very cool. And once again, it's that not quite metallic, but definitely not dull painted silver. So it's pretty cool. And these hands do attach via a ball joint peg. So that's pretty cool. And I'll demonstrate that. And then one unique thing is Gaia's individual hand here is very unique, and it plays in with his Ultra Beam effect part. So this hand here is pretty much just a small portion of his hand that it pegs into the effect part. So first we're going to go ahead and attach this because I'm going to show off how with the later releases in the Ultra Act line, the hands are significantly easier to pull off. Like in my Ultraman Zero review, I kind of had a tough time switching the hands out, and a lot of times it feels like you're about to break it. But with these new figures in the new line, and the newer part of the line here, they're a lot easier to attach and everything. So make sure this is the correct hand, which it is. So these plug in a lot nicer. I don't think I have that in all the way. These plug in a lot easier than the earlier figures in the line, so you don't hear that hard snap. So what makes this hand very special and very unique is this hand is meant to peg in and slot into his beam effect part. So first let's look at that beam effect part. So Gaia's Ultra Beam here, I'm not sure what the proper name for the finishing move is because I haven't seen Gaia in so long. But this is just, his Ultra Beam finisher. And it's a very nice and very neat and very cool effect part here. It's hard plastic and fairly sharp, but it's beautifully detailed and nicely sculpted here. You have the, the orange or the yellow going into the orange. So it's got that nice bursty and explosion-y effect. So it's definitely cool. Very nice. So how this hand goes in here, you'll see a part at the top. You can kind of see that up here. It's a special groove here in the top. You just take Gaia's arm with the special hand, and you just slot that in right there. And that slots in pretty good. See if I can get that in there. Or I might have this upside down, which I don't think I do. Or maybe I do. Let's see. If I can get that hand in there. Yeah. Okay, there we go. Didn't have it in there high enough. But so Gaia's hand slots in there very nicely, very snug, and the forearm kind of contours for the rest in there for his Ultra Beam effect. So it's pretty cool right here. So it's a very nice effect part right there, and then a very nice attachment. Now, one thing I've noticed, if you pose Gaia with this effect part, it can be kind of top heavy. Sometimes it can be kind of difficult with him to stand with this attached. So what I like to do is I like to plug the Tamashii Nation stand plug-in in the back, which is a new innovation I'll demonstrate shortly, to kind of counterbalance him. So it's pretty cool. Very nice effect. So Gaia's next effect part, since we're going along with effect parts here, Gaia has an additional head here. And what makes this head very unique and very cool is this head has an opening in the back with this translucent coating or material. As if you let light shine through, his eyes will kind of light up. And I'll see if I can get that. You kind of see the light going through his eyes. So it's pretty neat if you have like direct light behind him. Looks very cool and gives that, that ominous eye glow that the Ultramen have. So it's pretty cool. And the way this head attaches, Gaia's head just pulls off on a ball joint peg. So just remove that. Pretty easy. And you just attach the new head here. And then see if we get him in some light or something. You can kind of see that coming right through. So it's pretty cool. Definitely cool. Then Gaia's additional head, his extra head here, and has his finishing attack. I do not remember what this attack was called, but I just know he kind of whips his head forward and the beam kind of follows down and shoots straight. So it's definitely cool here. But this is very nicely sculpted, very nicely detailed. You have this raw energy and bursting going on. It's a pink or magenta coloring, so it's very cool, very neat, very nice, very cool head effect. And now this one also might require a stand because it does make him a little bit top heavy. And it's kind of hard to pose him dynamically with this on. So I'd suggest, using something for some extra support, but it's definitely cool. Very cool. So Gaia's other parts. Now with this effect part, from what I've read and what I've seen, I think this effect part was the first production run bonus. So I wasn't aware of that when I purchased this figure because I purchased it right when it came out. But these are just some ground blast effect parts here. And these are very cool, very neat, and very nicely sculpted here. In Ultraman Gaia in the show, when Gaia drops down from the sky, a lot of times the ground just kind of shoots up. And I've noticed it's pretty common for him in his show. And I think that's something that kind of continued on throughout the series, along with the other Ultraman series. So this is a very neat and very cool effect part. It was a pleasant surprise to receive one. But this is just a ground burst effect. So you have the white here, very nicely detailed, very nicely sculpted here. The crater explosion, the bits of rock, the almost translucent piece here. So it's pretty cool. Very nicely sculpted, fairly sharp, kind of pointy. So it's definitely cool. And this is sculpted for both his feet. So this one's sculpted for his left foot. And then this one is sculpted for his right foot. So one thing is this can be an alternative if you don't have a Tamashii Nation stand, because these do a good job of keeping him stable and keeping him in place. So that's definitely cool. So then we're going to round out Gaia's effect parts here. You have Gaia's low energy crystal. So that's pretty cool. Let's see if we can focus that a little bit. It's pretty cool effect crystal right here. And this signifies when the Ultraman, their energy gets low and they're about to do somewhat of a final attack. And the way this pegs in, just remove the initial crystal in here, like so. And then you just plug that in, make sure you have it going the correct way. And now you have Gaia low on energy. So it's very cool. Very nice little detail there. That's something I have to give kudos to the Ultrac line. That's a very essential part of an Ultraman, that representation of when he's low on energy and everything like that. So it's not something crucial, but it's greatly appreciated. It just goes a long ways to, just appreciate fan detail, I guess. So it's pretty cool. So then lastly, Gaia's last accessory, and it's a definite innovation in the line, and I think it's very cool. And what I've seen with the later figures in the line is the fact that they're including this in the rest of them, and this pertains to Gaia and the Tamashii Nation stands. So what it is Gaia, his back here, this piece can come out. You'll notice there's a notched piece in all of them, and you just grab this piece here, and it pulls right out just like so. And this piece, this is the accessory. This piece right here fits into Gaia's back, and it's very cool. You just plug this piece in right here, and there's a certain direction it has to go in. I think I have that upside down. Let's see. Yeah. You just plug that in like so. Then you grab a Tamashii Nation stand. And what's pretty cool about this is all you have to do is just remove the clip part of the stand here. Focus that. Remove that off. And you have this peg piece here that'll plug into the back. So it's very cool. So now what you have here is Gaia, and you can now simulate seamless poses of Gaia flying. Let's see if we can get that going right there. Pose them. So now you can get Gaia in seamless poses. And you'll notice that, it looks very great and very neat. And say if you photograph your figures and everything like that, it's a big help, so you don't have to worry about, photoshopping out the clips here that are normally around the hips. So it's a very neat and very cool accessory to add. It's not something that's absolutely crucial, but it's greatly appreciated in adding to these figures. So that's definitely a neat accessory, and it helps out a whole lot if you photograph these and, do a couple of things and, with Photoshop or maybe some digital animation or something like that, and you're having issues having them in flying poses or something like that. It's pretty cool. So this rounds up Gaia's many accessories. I'm getting out of breath here a little bit. But next we're going to go on to the figure review itself. Okay, now that we have the accessories out of the way, let's look at the figure review itself. So Ultraman Gaia here is a very nicely sculpted, very articulated, and very nicely painted figure here. He is very neat and very cool. He is absolutely show accurate, so very nice and very neat here. He has his, once again, that silver that's not quite metallic, but it's definitely not flat here on his body here. So it's very cool. And then the red is pretty much your flat, I guess, like matte red and everything. So that doesn't really pop out, but that's just fine. So it's a very cool figure. So let's look at Gaia's articulation. So first, Gaia's head here, it turns because it's on that ball joint peg. Then his head also has kind of a notch for a little bit of extra movement here. So you can kind of move his head up just a little bit more. See that? Just a little bit. So that's pretty cool. So when it comes to Gaia's arm articulation, his shoulder does move a little bit here in the joint, just a little bit. His arm come out about this far. It's kind of not really hindered, but it's kind of stopped by his chest piece here. So it's pretty cool still. Arm comes out this far. He doesn't have any arm rotation in the upper part here, but his elbows are a very nice and very true double joint here. So that's very neat and very, very cool. Very great double jointed elbow action going on here. Pretty cool. Then his hands here, they're on ball joint pegs, and they can rotate around. Now they are kind of, I wouldn't say necessarily impeded, but they are kind of bumped by Gaia's arm here because down at this piece kind of juts out. So it is kind of hampered just a little bit, but not to the point where it's that big of a deal. And then next you have Gaia here. His upper chest has some movement here, so you can move that around up and down. Then he has some ab crunch going on here. Pretty cool. Then he has some waist movement here. So it's definitely cool. Very neat. Now in Gaia's hip area here, he can kick out about this much. And if you pull down the hip joint, it can kick out even further and higher. So it's pretty cool. Very nice, very neat, and very cool. Then Gaia's knees here, double jointed knees. So it's very great for dynamic poses, jumping kicks, all that kind of good stuff. Then Gaia's feet, they are on ball joint pegs. So they're on a ball joint, not necessarily a ball joint peg, excuse me. But they're on a ball joint, so you get that nice range of rotation and everything to stabilize him when he's in dynamic poses. And then his toes have some articulation. So that's definitely neat. Definitely cool. So this is very, very great figure. Nice tight joints. Don't see anything getting loose in the feet or anything like that, so it's definitely cool. So this figure is greatly sculpted and very, very nicely detailed. And I would highly recommend this to anyone who's a fan of this show or figure or line. To conclude the review, Act Ultraman Gaia is another great entry into the Ultrac line. Ultraman Gaia has a great sculpt, great paint applications, and very hyper and fantastic articulation. Also, Ultraman Gaia has a plethora of accessories, and as a whole, he's a great figure. So I would highly recommend this figure to anyone who's a fan of the Ultrac line, Ultraman, Ultraman Gaia, or anyone who's into having hyper articulated figures. So this has been another review by Diego Doom. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and stay tuned for more figure reviews.